Okay guys, after much wandering, I found Aziza's place, and yeah, I came upon this purple door. So let's look around. The door seems to be watching you. Okay, well, I'm going to save the game, and I'm going to call it Purple Door. Now, we were warned by Keep On Laughing that Aziza is very temperamental and is very particular about manners. So, I don't think we've casted a spell yet, so I'm going to show you what happens if I try and cast Open. This game is a little different than the last game, because when you cast Open in the last game, whatever it affects kind of just happens. But they let you use the cursor and have a little target. So let's say I click it on myself. Good thing you can't hurt yourself like that. If I do it again, and I do it on the door, you find that you cannot move. Woman's voice. I do not welcome those who try to force their entrance into my house. Oof. Got knocked over. That was exhausting. You don't think you could survive going through that again? Oh yeah? So let's do it again. Persistence pays off, but this certainly isn't the payoff you had in mind. Next time use your head. Or maybe your knuckles. Alright, so now we know what happens. And they gave us a pretty heavy-handed hint, no pun intended. This game has enough of them. That we should use our knuckles, meaning let's knock. Who is it that seeks to enter? So, tell her my name. Who is it that sent you here? I'm going to say, keep on laughing. What is the element most appropriate to the owner of the magic shop? Well, keep on laughing is a airy guy, so I'm going to say air. Now, my first is the first, my second the last. Next comes myself, then back to the end and beginning again. Who am I? So, this is a riddle that might seem a little obtuse at first. First is the first, obviously, after you start to figure stuff out, especially in Sierra games, they love riddles like this. They're referring to the letters of the alphabet. So first is the first. First letter of this word is the first in the alphabet, meaning A. Second is the last. Second letter in this word is the last, meaning Z or Z, depending on what country you're from. Next comes myself. Myself referring to I. So I is the third letter. Then back to the end of the alphabet, Z, and then beginning again, A. So she's really just spelling out her own name, A-Z-I-Z-A. So who am I? Really, you could actually just not pay attention to any of this and just look at the last question, which is, who am I? And we know it's Aziza. You may enter freely into my home, matches. So, let's walk in. I got some points for entering. Come in, sit down, and be welcome. Okay. So, if you try typing sit from here, yes, come sit at my table. She doesn't actually, you don't actually go and sit, you have to walk over. And once you walk over, you kind of like automatically sit down. Shall we share tea? So if you don't share tea with her, she considers it rude, so it's a good idea to say yes. And then she kind of magically offers up some tea. The tea is cool and refreshing. You may find yourself relaxing as you drink and listen to the sound of flowing water. So we met, now that we have shared tea, what is it which you have come? So we have met Harika Atar, which is the fire related character, and Keep On Laughing, the air related character, and now we have met her, who is the water related character. So let's ask about Aziza. My magic is very practical. I know many things that go on in this land. Unfortunately, Rasir has been closed to my far-seeing eye ever since the Emir vanished. Soon I will try a different type of spell to see if I can gain more information. Let's ask about Rasir. Rasir was like a twin to Shapir until a year ago this month. The Emir Arus was overthrown and disappeared. His brother now sits upon the throne. There is darkness over the city through which I cannot see with all my magic. Well, let's ask about magic. The magic I work with most is water magic. That of knowledge and true seeing. As water can reflect, it can too reflect spells back upon the caster. There is much magic in this land, some of it very dark in nature. Let's ask about magic. Actually, we did. Let's ask about water. Water is the element of healing and life. I use it in all my magical workings. Okay. Aziza is a character that you're going to run into throughout the game, and she has a lot that you can do with her, but most of it is basically for the magician or the magic user type characters. You get points for entering her home, and after that I'm not sure if there's anything else that you definitely get from her, but I think I'm going to spend most of the video just clicking on stuff, so let's click on her. Aziza's beauty in no way masks her intensity, purposefulness, and the aura of power around her. It is good when in her presence to be on your best behavior. Okay. It is a most polite tea set. So they're really trying to hammer home that you need to be polite here. The door at the far end of the room looks like it would lead to an inner chamber. Oh yeah, full disclosure, if you do try to go back there, she gets mad and throws you out. And if you're going the way of a paladin, you don't want to do anything to make Aziza mad. Aziza had many more fish tanks during the Age of Aquariums. Another really bad Age of Aquarius pun. There are all sorts of odds and ends on the shelves. For instance, you see a plate of watery tarts. For instance, you see some moisturizing cream. For instance, you see some unused bath towels. For instance, you see 2 statues of immoral porpoises. For instance, you see sheet music for Handel's Water Music. For instance, you see Waterford Crystal. For instance, you see an autographed picture of Captain Nemo. For instance, you see a leftover submarine sandwich. For instance, you see a leftover hero sandwich. For instance, you see some water-based paints. For instance, you see a jar of freeze-dried tea. Just add water. And that's about it. There is a bookshelf here, but it doesn't seem like there are any books. You see a vial of saline solution. You see a 10-speed oysterizer. You see a bottle of butter-flavored syrup. It's a squirt bottle. You see a deluxe donut dunker. You see a bottle of eau d'anchovy. You see a jar of freeze-dried water. You see a purposeless porpoise. You see some moisturizing shampoo. Through the mildew, you are able to recognize some of the book titles. For instance, Aziza owns Volume 1 of the Tide Life Self-Kelp series, 20,000 Leaks Under the Sink. Yikes. For instance, she has Volume 2 of the Tide Life Self-Kelp series, Muscle Building with Barnacle Jones. Volume 3 of the Tide Life Self-Kelp series, Learn to Program in C++. Wamp wah. Volume 4 of the Tide Life Self-Kelp series, Learn to Play Go Fish Like a Card Shark. Volume 5 of the Tide Life Self-Kelp series, How to Teach Generosity to Shellfish People. Nuclear Fission. Obviously it's supposed to be nuclear fission. Fear of Swimming. Lore of the Flies. The Tides of Marsh. The Poseidon Adventure. Clam of the Baskervilles. And that's about it. Aziza keeps an indoor pond. It's the front door. It's how you got in here. So, every good enchantress has a tea table to encourage polite conversation. So, that's about all that's here. I'm going to ask her a couple more questions. I'm going to ask her about the Sultan, who's kind of been a mystery to us. The Sultan Harun al-Rashid is a most wise ruler. He often consults me for information about things. He has a good deal of understanding about people, and he knows how best to use them. He's doing everything in his power to prevent the ill omens from coming to pass. Okay. But really, no matter what we do, there's no way to get points out of her that I know of. It has been a pleasure conversing with you. Perhaps we shall again share tea sometime. So just be polite to her and make sure you don't do anything to make her upset, and you should be fine. What time of day is it? It's mid-morning still, so I have plenty of time to still do things. So now that that's on my map, I don't have to worry about anything, like finding it again. There are a couple other places on this map that we haven't found yet, but one of them is going to take a lot for us to get through, so I don't really have time, even though it's still the beginning of the day. We're also not prepared really to go there, but let's go back to the astrologer, because he said he was going to give us a fortune, so let's see if his fortune is ready. Welcome, may the stars smile upon you. So let's ask about fortune. I have not yet had time to find your answers. You must return another day. Alright, so he doesn't have our fortune yet. So let's get out of here. And what we're gonna do is we're going to return to the Fighters Plaza, and I'm going to practice there, and hopefully when I come back I'm going to start off the video by showing you guys that I'm tough enough to beat Isser finally, because I'm kind of upset that I can't beat him. So, this be the new hero, Rakesh. You are most welcome in Shapir. The Sultan has been seeking a hero since the forces of dark magic overwhelmed Rasir. So I'm gonna fight with Ahura and then try and beat Isser in an arm wrestling match. So, pausing the game for now, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks, guys.